It's an old console. It is the original Nintendo Entertainment System. I have the top loader. For those of you who are familiar with the Nintendo, the original Nintendo, I have the top loader. The original version did not look like this. It was bigger, bulkier, almost like the PlayStation 3 before they made it slim. This is the later version of the Nintendo Entertainment System. I think in the United States, the original NES came out in '83. I think it might have come out in '82 in Japan, I'm not sure. It was known as something different in Japan, I'm not sure what. But it's number 2 for a whole bunch of reasons. First of all, it brought Nintendo into the video game market. And we all have heard of Nintendo. Also, it is home to legendary games like Contra. Of course, all of its games are on cartridges, of course. Do not store in extreme temperatures, do not immerse in water, do not clean with your breath. Whoops. Well, but still, Tetris, Contra, legendary games. And it's best known for introducing Mario, the original Super Mario Brothers. And I think Super Mario Brothers 1, 2, and 3 were all on the NES, I think. I know one in... Whoops. Little problem there. Alright, I just went over the 10-minute limit, and the controller turned itself off. So, whoops. Right, back on track. Super Mario Brothers. Mario. I mean, he's the best-known video game icon of all time. And the NES was the first video game system to... Pretty sure... Yes. The NES sold over 100 million units in its lifetime, which was a record until the PlayStation 1 came around. And then it also had Duck Hunt, which annoyed the crap out of almost everyone who played it because of the dumb dog. If you don't know what I mean about the dog in Duck Hunt, you can look it up on YouTube or the internet or anywhere and you'll see what I mean. And it became Dog Hunt. And then it had this, The Legend of Zelda, in a gold cartridge. To any video game nerd, the gold Zelda cartridge is gold, literally. Okay, it's plastic, but you get the idea. Any video game nerd will go crazy over the cartridge. If you're a fan of the angry video game nerd, I definitely am, you can see when it shows his case, this is the only gold cartridge ever made, to my knowledge. And if you look at the Angry Video Game Nerd's collection when he's in one of his videos, you can see, like, at the very end of one of the row, you have just a gold cartridge. Also, like he mentioned one time, that it's really nice how you can just put the cartridges in, like, a cabinet like this, and you can still see the title up here. Yeah, you can still see the title up here. Yeah, the NES did a ton of great things. I mean, it introduced Metroid and Zelda, along with Mario, which is a pretty big deal. So it would take a really special console to beat the NES, because NES is number 2. So of course, number 1, the one that people are gonna probably be all upset about, or some people will be happy about it. In my opinion, the best game console of all time, no question, is the original PlayStation. The PlayStation 1. Or the PSX. Whatever you want to call it. It is the best game console of all time because it had Final Fantasy VII and Metal Gear Solid 1 along with a ton of other amazing games. It actually outsold the NES. It did not outsell the PlayStation 2, but the original PlayStation outsold the NES. Finally, it was the first console to do that. And, it brought Sony into the market, which blew everyone out of the water, took everyone completely by surprise. And Sony, of course, as you all know, has continued on to this day, making a ton of great games. And really, to a lot of people, Final Fantasy VII is the best game of all time to a lot of people. And I actually have played it. Whether it's the best game of all time or not, I'm not really sure, but it's definitely in the top 5. It is an amazing game, along with Metal Gear Solid 1. If you continue to watch my videos, I'm sure eventually you'll get an idea of how big of a fan I am of Metal Gear and Metal Gear Solid. So, I mean, any console with a Metal Gear game on it is automatically great from my standards. And, you know, just launching, to some extent, being a CD player was a big deal back then. God, that was a long time ago. And, you know, it had a ton of great games. It was a CD player, which sounds retarded now, but it was a really big deal back then. It probably had the best game of all time on it. And really, what else do you want in a game console? It had the best game of all time. I mean, that is the holy grail of gaming. Now, I know some people will disagree. And probably the biggest complaint is that the Nintendo 64 is not on the list. Well, you know, sorry Nintendo fanboys about the Nintendo 64, but I really felt it was time for Nintendo to lose. Which I know is kind of mean, but Nintendo had beaten Sega with the original Nintendo system, with the Super Nintendo system, and if it had won again with the Nintendo 64, Nintendo really would have had a chokehold on the market, which I don't think is a good thing. And, you know, they might have knocked Sony out, Microsoft might never have gotten in, Sega would have died. You know, we might be left with only Nintendo. And no offense to Nintendo, they have a lot of good games, but I want more than just Nintendo. I think Nintendo would have had too much of the market. The Nintendo 64 did have another game that could qualify as the best game of all time, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, which I have not played myself, but, you know, I respect people's opinions. You know, feel free to completely disagree with me or whatever. Just don't flame, don't hate, disagree peacefully, and have a good day. Actually, there's one more thing I want to talk about. I'm glad to finally be able to put this video up. And I finally figured out how to edit with the PlayStation Eye, which is great. I'll be putting up more videos soon, I hope. I have stuff going on, as my subscribers know. And what I plan to do next is review Assassin's Creed for the PlayStation 3. That is my next big project. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, I tried to make it before, it did not work out. I'm sorry about the long wait. I wanted to put it up more than anyone else, I'm sure. And I hope you all keep subscribing, please. It's great to have you guys. And that's my laptop over here kind of making some noise. But anyway, yeah, like I said, it's great to have you guys, great to have your opinions. Please leave a comment, whether you agree with me or not. And look forward to my review of Assassin's Creed 1. Just in time for Assassin's Creed 2 coming out. Anyway, and PirateoftheTouYube signing off. And peace and good day.